February 2nd, 2023, and we are still doing our missing in February cases. Did you know, out of all the months throughout the year, people tend to go missing in December, January, and February the most? However, this case that we are discussing today, this young man went missing in May. This missing persons case is almost 4 years old. I've tried to gather as much information with what was available online. I don't know what's true or false. All I know is 3 years and 9 months later, Davohnte Morgan is still missing. Davohnte has been described as funny, charming, and that comes along with being a ladies' man. He also had aspirations to become a pastor. In 2017, I believe that is the correct year, Davohnte was wrongfully targeted and shot at. He could have lost his life. Even though he was given a second chance, his family said the experience was traumatic. It changed him. He fell into a depression. He would use alcohol and marijuana to cope with his depression. A year prior to Davohnte's disappearance, he would meet his girlfriend Jennifer, who is 20 years older than him. Davohnte and Jennifer, despite their age difference, they hit it off. Davohnte's grandmother and mother have different views on the relationship that Davohnte shared with Jennifer. Jennifer is actually closer to Davohnte's mother's age, but again, that didn't seem to be an issue for them. Now, people close to them say that Jennifer was jealous and controlling of Davohnte, and people close to them also say that Jennifer tried to fit in with the family. A lot of people do say that the relationship was toxic. On May 4th, 2020, the couple decided to head to Mt.Shasta. It's believed a car was rented, and it's also noted that Davohnte had plans to attend his nephew's birthday party the following day. It wasn't unusual that the couple was heading out of town. They had done things like this before, but Mt.Shasta was a bit of a shocker. Why there? Did the couple know the history, or is that the reason why they wanted to go? Because they did know the history. Now, in case you don't know the history of Mt.Shasta, I'll try to break it down real quick. It's potentially an active volcano at the southern end of the Cascade Range in Siskiyou County. Maybe I pronounced that right. Various legends say it's home to a sacred spring of beings who have transcended in the physical plane, or Crystal City full of ancient foes of Atlantis. So it's like mythical and magical. I think definitely it's a place that Jennifer wanted to go. She does have like a whimsical nature about her. No shade at all. I've been called much worse. Some believe that there is another city under the mountain with complex tunnels, and that it's an ancient city called Telos, and that the Lemurians live there. They actually do. And this right here is a picture of the Lemurians. So yes, again, I do believe that Jennifer wanted to go there. If not only to patronize the stores that sell the crystals and the sage and all the stuff that the New Age people are into. So I believe it. The couple checked into Cold Creek Inn. So the morning going into May 5th, Davohnte and Jennifer got into an argument. Jennifer said that he had woke her up and wanted to go outside for a smoke with her, and she was annoyed by that. But she did go outside for the smoke, but the argument continued, and she said she broke up with him. And she said she stayed around to watch the sunrise or sunset, something with the sun. And Davohnte took off another way, and according to the CCC footage, he did go to a convenience store. And there's lots of footage of Davohnte walking around Mt.Shasta. They said that this is actually a cool-off system that they used when both of them would get into these type of argumentative things. But the kicker is he would come back. Later on, the couple did see one another, but they didn't speak to each other. Jennifer felt that Davohnte was still mad. Now, I did hear that the couple was in a fight, but it's because Jennifer has a habit. And though she says this trip was for Davohnte's spiritual awakening, it was also for her to stop using meth. And that definitely is what I've listened to. And all the videos I'm going to put are in the description box because they are very, very interesting. Very. So we understand that there was a disagreement between the two. Time went by and Davohnte still had not made it back to the inn. Jennifer called Anthony, that is Davohnte's brother, and his grandmother, and told them about the argument and that Davohnte had not made it back to the inn. The brother said that there wasn't an urgency in her voice, that her boyfriend was missing. The family told Jennifer to try to file a missing persons report, which she did on May 7th, and Sergeant Devon Pretty of Mt.Shasta Police Department says Jennifer did come in 2 days late and wanted to file the missing persons report on her boyfriend, but she was not acting upset. He describes her as loony and all over the place. He felt like she wasn't concerned that her boyfriend had been missing at all. So now the search is on. Davohnte's family, friends, and volunteers come to try to help to find Davohnte. Off top, like I hear from so many people of color, when a loved one goes missing in their 89% white residential town, they feel unwanted. And maybe it's because the tearing down of the missing flyers of Davohnte, a raw chicken foot being thrown at them, or a man driving up and down the street with a truck with the Confederate flag blowing in the wind, or telling them if they find Davohnte, they're going to tie him to a tree. Maybe that's why they felt unwanted. Was it the fact that Davohnte did become a victim because he's not white and he's not from there? I mean, things like that happen. They happen a lot. Horrible tips would come into the police department, like where to find the remains. And thank goodness they were animal remains. But horrible tips was coming in, and I'm sure the family was learning about these horrible tips. Could Davohnte have gotten eaten by wildlife? The cops put that theory down. His motions were all over the town and recorded. They actually said that he was in safe places. There were a few run-ins with a mailman that said that Davohnte had asked for directions and apparently his phone was broken and that he looked disheveled. But the mailman also said that he wanted directions to an apartment complex and not the inn where he was actually staying. The thing that I hate about stories like this one right here is people add stuff in, it gets just bombarded and it goes everywhere but the direction that it should be going in. And it's where's Davohnte? A pastor even recalls him giving a man that resembled Davohnte a ride to a community called Weed that's 9.5 miles away from Mt.Shasta. Police say that there is CCTV footage that shows this pastor's account. But is it real? Is it true? Was it him? Did the family really see this footage? And why is Davohnte going to Weed? Why is he bumming a ride there when there is a rental that he has? And if you are upset with your girlfriend and you know you want to attend a party, why don't you say, look, let's go now. Even if we're not speaking to each other, I'm ready to go. Why wasn't any of that mentioned? Or we don't know. That's just it. That's just it. We don't know. But apparently, he told his pastor that he wanted to go to this community called Weed. Now, the family says during the search of Davohnte that Jennifer just talked about herself, gave no information or thoughts about what could have happened to Davohnte. The family felt that she was derailing them from the truth. She was even saying things like Davohnte was going to manifest back. Just odd, strange shit that she was saying. And even though she's very out there and whimsical and this and that, they felt they didn't have time for that. Where the hell is this boy? Where the hell is this boy? I would have felt the same way. I know people that somewhat have an aura of Jennifer. And there's a time and a place. But when I'm a mother and my baby's missing, this is not the time nor the place. I get it. I do really get it. The family says and Jennifer, upon returning back to wherever they lived, San Francisco, wherever, there was no more communication with Jennifer. Now, a man on TikTok, and I put the link to his videos in the description box, he speaks on a lot. It's like he knows his family very well. It might even be a family member. I'm not really sure. But a lot of this information I left out, but it was really interesting to know that why was Jennifer selling Davohnte's clothes returning back? Why? There's even videos of Jennifer to where the story is not the story that it originally was. Days, weeks, months, years, nothing. None of his. The sad part about this is we have a mother and grandmother. We have a family that loves this young man that's no longer here. And they have to go to sleep and wake up every day. This young man is staying on their minds every day. And they don't know what happened to him. I don't know, a lot of people, when they have a missing person in their family, they would even pray that remains come forward and that it's the person, because at least they know that he's no longer here. Then out there somewhere. And if Jennifer is 100% innocent in all this, and it's just her personality that is just a little standoffish to people, then it's a sad thing for her. Because even a police officer said they didn't even think that she had the intelligence to harm someone and hide the body. That's wild. So if she is a 100% innocent person in this whole entire situation, and she can express herself the correct way to say, no, I didn't do anything. This is not me. I don't know what happened to him. We have to find him. I don't know what's going on. Then it's sad for her, because she actually went to a place to stay for a few hours and her boyfriend turned up missing. But again, it's so much to the story. And all I can say is justice for Davohnte Morgan. And I hope the people that love him, I hope they get answers soon. I have followed cases that 7-10 years later, when I knew who did this to this missing person, I knew they were behind it. 7 to 10 years later, when the case comes forward and there's an arrest, it's a person that was never mentioned. The person that we all thought that did it had absolutely nothing to do with it. Justice for Davohnte.
We are blasting the airwaves with a message today. Please look out for my boyfriend Davohnte Morgan, who's still missing in Mt.Shasta. So everybody come together, be on the lookout, and keep your eyes peeled for the greater great. Sending positive vibes your way. Thank you. Gratitude. Once a mazillion, always a mazillion. Because doing good is part of our code.